Dang it, I just went live and I need a bottle of water. Hold on, y'all. I need a bottle of water. But we got some talking to do. All right, there we go. There we go. Jay, what's going on, man? Appreciate y'all jumping in. Appreciate y'all jumping in. Thank y'all so much, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of In My Bag with Backpack Jeff, the #1 information site for youth and young adults, helping them transition into the next phase of their lives. And so first and foremost, man, I want to start off by giving gratitude just for the opportunity to be able to do this. I want y'all to hit that subscribe button right now. I want y'all to hit that like button right now. And then if you resonate with this, in which I think the people that are going to resonate with this are going to be people that have if you have youth, if you have young adults, like, or if you know somebody who is a youth, or if you know somebody who's a young adult, man, I want you to send them this live. I want you to send them this live because this is going to be extremely important today. If you ever felt like you've been through something, I think one of the things that changed my life and going through a lot of the things that I have been through was something that was very important. It was the fact that I started to own my story. All right. The title of today is Owning Your Story. What I want you to do, I want you to type own my story in the chat for me right now. I want you to type own your story. I'm sorry. Type own your story in the chat right now. If you are here, if you on TikTok, if you on Instagram, if you are on Facebook, what I need you to do is I need you to own your story. It's one of the things that a lot of people don't do, man. They don't own their story. And it was one of the things that actually freed me in my life, was that I started to own my story. And I think a lot of people are ashamed of their story, and it keeps them from doing things the right way. It's like when you tell a lie and you got to tell more lies to cover up that lie. And then you got to tell another lie to cover up that lie. And then you got to remember the second lie you told, because now here comes the fourth lie. And you always got to constantly remember what it is that you're talking about and what it is that you're saying. But I think one of the things that has helped me, and that I think that would help each and every one of y'all, is that if you owned your story, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the particular part that I'm talking about, what's up, Lala? The particular part that I'm talking about is the bad and the ugly part. That's the part that a lot of people don't want to own. They don't want to admit openly that they had been through a particular situation. But if a situation can still make you mad, if a situation can still make you upset, chances are you're still not over that situation. I know I'm over a situation when I'm able to laugh about it. When I'm able to laugh about it, I know I'm over a situation. If I can't sit down and have a chuckle about this situation, I know I'm not over this situation. So one of the things that I encourage everybody to do is to own your story, man. You got to own your situation. You got to own what you've been through. People will literally make up lies to avoid telling the truth about what it is that they do. Now, I'm going to tell y'all a couple of stories. They're not my stories. They're stories of the people that I work with, and I'm not going to share any names. But let's just say somebody, let's say you are you're looking to move into an apartment, and you're talking to and you go and talk to this landlord, and you tell the landlord, hey, I've been paying $1,500 every single month for the past 4 years, knowing that you haven't been paying anything. And then your landlord is going to call me and ask me, hey, has this person been paying $1,500 every single month? Do you expect me to lie for you just because you lied and told this landlord that you actually pay $1,500 a month? Absolutely not. I'm not lying for you and telling this landlord that you paid $1,500 a month when you haven't paid $15 a month. Here's the thing. A landlord, somebody in business would be more likely to want to help you if you came to them straight up and you just owned your story. What's up, Natanya? They would be more likely to come to you and and help you and desire to help you if you just owned your story. But some people are so ashamed of their story, they're ashamed of their background, and you can't be ashamed of where you came from, because where you came from made you who you are today, particularly if you have a desire to get better. But she don't want to own her story. So she lied and said, I've been paying $1,500 a month. No, you haven't been paying $1,500 a month. And my ethics are not going to allow me to lie for you. I'm not lying for you. I don't know. What would y'all do in that situation? Would you lie for somebody and tell them like have you been on the back end of one of your friends putting you down as a job reference, and you basically lied for them and said, hey, I'm gonna put you down as a job reference. What I need you to do is I need you to lie to this person. I need you to tell them that I did, that I've been doing this job like this. No, I can't. I'm not lying for you. If you're asking me to lie for you, that means that you are not the person that I believe that you're not the person that you believe that you are, because you wouldn't ask me to lie for you. You wouldn't ask me to lie for you. So, and one thing for sure, I'm definitely not going to lie for you, but you got to own your story. Don't be ashamed of your story. Don't be afraid to tell your story, because your test only turns into testimonies. Your trials turn into tribulations, right? All of those good sayings where you're negative. In my poem I wrote, I turned my negatives into a positive. You got to be willing to turn your negatives into a positive. But the problem is that people don't want to ever acknowledge the negative. And so they lie about it. They lie and say, hey, I've been paying $1,500 a month, and then you expect me to lie for you too. I would go to that landlord and say, hey, look, right now I'm in a homeless program. I've been in this program for about 4 or 5 years, and I've been taking care of my children. I decided to go back to school, and now I came out, and now I'm doing extremely well. I'm making this amount of money. I can afford to pay this. I can pay an extra month of security deposit if that is what it takes in order to get this apartment. But what I want to do is I want to get my children and my family out of this bad situation, and I need someone to give me an opportunity to help me further protect my kids and protect my children. If you only require first month's rent and security deposit, I'll give you first month's rent, second month's rent, and a security deposit, or I'll give you first month's rent and 2 security deposits, just so that you know that I'm not playing when I say I'm trying to make a change for my family and I'm trying to make a change in my life. And this is the first step into me making a change in my life. And if you give me an opportunity to show you how trustworthy and responsible I can be, I guarantee this will be something that you will look back on and that you will say, I'm glad I was able to give this person a chance, and I was able to give this person an opportunity. People in this world and in this life are looking to give people opportunities who are willing to be honest about where they are and the situations that they're going through. But if you're not honest about the situation that you're going through, if you're not honest about you needing help, nobody's ever going to help you, because you know what's going to happen at some point, you like, dang, what movie was that? Where they said, do you think we could have ever worked? And they was like, no, it could have never worked because it started off as a lie. No relationship in life will ever work if it starts off in a lie. I can't remember what movie that was, but it was such a great movie where he was like, do you think this situation would have ever worked? They said, no, our situation would have never worked because it started off in a lie. And that's 100% true, man. Like, it won't work if it starts off in a lie. So my message to each and every one of you is that regardless of what you're going through, regardless of what you've been through, regardless of what you felt, regardless of whether you feel like you're on a receiving end of everything that life has to throw against you, regardless of what you feel, I need you to own your story and own your right now. And then I need you to understand that winners write history and losers become a part of the story. Y'all know I had to make this joint full circle, right? You know I had to take this joint full circle, right? Listen, winners write history and losers become a part of the story. Once you take ownership of your story, nobody can then put you in a box and put you in a situation where something about you is being said that you haven't already made known or let people be aware of. It's like that 8 Mile. It's like the B Rabbit theory. If y'all don't know what the B Rabbit theory is, what's up, Fiji? If you don't know what the B Rabbit theory is, the B Rabbit theory essentially says that I am going to strip away your ammunition. I'm going to strip away your ammunition so that you can no longer harm me. I'd rather do it to myself than allow somebody else to do it to me. Meaning, I'd rather put my business out there into the world than to let someone like you put my business out into the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the B Rabbit theory. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate you, right? But we gotta have that B Rabbit theory, y'all. Listen. I want to help. I want to help. One of the other things that one of the other things on top of owning your story, right? On top of being able to write your own history, because I guarantee if you allow somebody else, what's up, Sheila? What's going on? Y'all, appreciate y'all tapping in. If you don't write your own story, if you don't write your own story, if you don't write your own history, somebody else is going to write you into their story. And I guarantee they're not going to write the ending to your life the way that you would want it to be written. Meaning, if you like nice things, chances are people don't have nice things in your future for you if they have to write those things for you. No one's going to give you what you feel like you deserve. You got to go out and you got to take what you feel like you deserve. That's literally the only way it's going to happen. No one is coming. Like in my life, when I was in Pennsylvania, I lived in Pennsylvania for 11 years, from 2007 all the way through 2018. I was in Pennsylvania for 11 years. And one of the most important things that I ever had to learn was that no one is coming to save me. And everything that I had done up to that point was solely my responsibility, and I could blame it on no one else. No one, when I went home and there was no lights on, no one did that. It was me. When I went home and there was no heat, no one did that. It was me. When I went home and there was no water, no one did that. And it was me. When I went home and my pipes were frozen because there was no heat, no one did that. It was me. It was me. I was willing to take full ownership in all of my bullshit. That was the difference. I was willing to take full 100% ownership in the stuff that I did and the lack of. But a lot of us, we don't want to accept the accountability. I can't blame no one if stuff goes wrong. And one of the biggest issues is that once something goes wrong, we're always looking for somebody else to blame. You got to stop. You got to stop looking for somebody else to blame and realize that it's only you. You are 100% to blame for everything good and bad that happens in your life. It's you. Nobody can take credit for that. Don't give nobody credit for all of them things that happen in your life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the in between, all of those different things. We cannot give anybody else credit for those things. It all happened because of us, or it didn't happen because of us. And I had to realize that. When I was homeless and I was sleeping in my car and I had to wake up every single hour, turn the heat on, blast the heat, turn the heated seats on in my 2001 pearl white Cadillac Seville, that was me. I chose this. Whether consciously or subconsciously, I 100% chose this. And I had to realize in my life that no one was coming to save me. And you got to realize that no one is coming to save you. Before I became Backpack Jeff, I was Young Lungs Motivation. That was the name of my organization. And the saying behind Young Lungs Motivation was, what's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Appreciate y'all coming in, man. Appreciate y'all coming in. The saying behind Young Lungs Motivation was breathing life into the goals and dreams of our youth. And what that meant was that I believe that some of us, we have goals and dreams that are dying. And the first person that has to breathe life into those things is us, because despite what other people say, they're not coming to help you. They're not coming to help you until they see you willing to help yourself. People are not going to care about what you care about until they see how much you care about what you care about. And that's the 100% honest truth, bro. People are not going to care about what you care about.
He's in his bag.
Yes, I'm in my bag. People are not going to care about what you care about. People are not going to care about what you tell them that you to care about until they realize how much you actually care about that thing. Because one day you selling life insurance, the next day you selling solar, the next day you selling roofs, the next day you selling Kangen water, the next day you selling TVs, the next day you selling vacuum cleaners. How do I know what the hell it is that I'm supposed to care about if I find out that every single week, every single month, you caring about something else? That's why when people try to sell me life insurance, I'm like, nah, talk to me in a year. After you've been in it for a year and you've actually dedicated and committed to it, then that's when I'll talk about buying life insurance from you. But I'm not about to buy life insurance from you just because hey, Backpack Jeff, I just started this new business, man, and I was wondering if you can support me. Hell no. Let me see you go through the trenches before I actually support you. That's what I want to see. I want to see you go through the trenches before I start to support you. That's what I want to see. Let me see how long you gonna last. Let me see how long you gonna last in that joint. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But we want other people to care about us. And CPR and CPR, right? Will come to my next show. Let me know when it is, man. If you got it posted, I'm gonna come to the joint. If you got it posted, I'm gonna come to the joint, man. Ooh, shout out to Kenny Sway. Appreciate you, man. Listen. So look, right? CPR stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Essentially, when you're giving someone CPR, you got to do chest compressions and you have to do mouth to mouth. And this is so metaphorical to me. This is absolutely beautiful. Like one of the best metaphors that I feel like I've ever came up with. You got to do mouth to mouth resuscitation and you also got to do chest compressions. Okay. Think about it this way. If you have something that you want in life, not only do you have to do the physical work of the chest compressions, you also got to do the inner work of the mouth to mouth, right? Meaning when someone is breathing and doing the mouth to mouth resuscitation, they're breathing in. And that means that you got to do their inner work as well as you got to do the physical work. So for me, CPR doesn't stand for cardiopulmonary resuscitation. It stands for core perseverance restoration, meaning you got to start with the core of you. You got to start with the core of you. When I decided to make a transition in my life, the first place that I started was me, because I realized quickly that I was the biggest problem and I was the common denominator in everything that was bad happening in my life. I realized it was me. It's not you. It's me. That's what I realized, that it's not you. It's me. I started to do the inner work. I started to focus on myself. I started to love myself. I started to say positive things to myself when I looked at myself. Because for years, I heard everybody's voice in my head. And I let it become my voice. I let it, not my physical voice, but I let it become the inner voice. I let it be a reflection of my actions or a lack thereof my actions, because I kept hearing their voices in my head over and over and over and over again. And then I heard this, I heard this question, and it made me think, and I want y'all to answer this question. I want you to answer this question truthfully right now, and I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds to do it. If you want Instagram, if you want TikTok, if you want Facebook, if you want YouTube, I want you to or Twitch. I want you to answer this question right now in the chat. Right? I want you to name 5 things that you love. I want you to name 5 things that you love. Do me a favor and just name 5 things that you love. Appreciate it. I want you to name 5 things that you love right now. I'm gonna give you a second. I'm gonna grab some water. I'm gonna give you a second. I want you to name 5 things that you love. All right, you got them? You wrote them down? I don't know, you set them in your head? I'm willing to bet I'm willing to bet that most of y'all didn't say yourself. I'm willing to bet that you didn't say yourself. And when I thought about that, when I looked at that list that I had written and I didn't include myself in there, and I just kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going. And it's like you named all of these things, but you didn't name yourself. You named all of these people, but you didn't name yourself. You named all of these things, but you didn't name yourself. This is what it means to practice self-love. It means putting yourself first. Man, a poet friend of mine, Tilo, the poet, man, she said something so beautiful that I had to hear it again. She said, your bad decision does not become my emergency. My Lord.
Ooh,
Oh my.
He's in his bag.
Your bad decision does not become my emergency. How many people want you to make their bad decision your emergency? And so I started to practice. I practiced loving myself. I practiced what I said to myself. And that's where it starts. And the honest truth is that when you start off on this journey, you're not miraculously going to make macro improvement. You're not going to all of a sudden see the improvement. When you go to the gym, you're not going to when you first go to the gym that first week, you're not going to all of a sudden start seeing progress in your body. You're not going to see it on the outside when you go to the gym. The first place the progress is going to happen is on the inside. That's where the work needs to be done. That's where the mouth-to-mouth needs to be done. That's where the cardiopulmonary resuscitation is done first. That's where the breathing life into your goals and dreams happens first. Yeah, Natanya, you absolutely did. God, self, travel, family, learn it. 100%. That's where it happens first. So you got to do the internal work, the core work. If you know anything about the core is the inner most important part of anything. Atoms have a core. Molecules have a core. This is why they talk about your core values all the time, because they're so important. They're so valuable. They make up who you are. They influence your decision making. Who are you to the core? Your core values. What makes up you? The core makes up everything else. It's the thing that's in the center that houses, that protects, you know what I'm saying, that makes room for everything else. The core. Who are you to the core? Now, when you're doing CPR, you got to do the physical work. You got to do some chest compressions. You can't give people CPR without doing chest compressions. At some point in time throughout the process of CPR, they took away the mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and they said, just do the chest compressions. If you just do the chest compressions, then you'll be fine. If you just do the chest compressions. But then they brought back the mouth-to-mouth resuscitation because they realized that it doesn't matter how much physical work you do, you still have to do the inner work. It doesn't matter how much physical work you do, you still got to do the inner work. They took it out. They took out the mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. They said, we don't need it no more. We just going to work with this. And then they brought it back because they realized that in order to bring somebody back to life, you still got to do the inner work. In order to bring your goals, your dreams, your hopes, your desires, your aspirations, your ambitions back to life and off the life alert table, you got to do the inner work. God dang.
Ooh, he's in his bag.
God dang, you got to do that inner work, man. But it's hard. but it's hard. When you go to that gym and you working out, man, the first place it's going to hit is on the inside. And then you're going to see it on the outside. Your lungs going to start, you're going to start breathing a little bit easier. Your muscles are going to start getting real tight and tense on the inside because the tissue is, the tissue is doing the work. The joints is doing the work. Like all of the work is happening on the inside. And then you see a little six pack and you go, oh, what was that? Okay, what was that? Then you start seeing a little bit on the outside. You start seeing a little bit on the outside. And then it motivates you. It inspires you. I was talking to my brother the other day, man. I was like, bro, when does working out become fun again? When does working out become fun again? He said, when you start seeing results. I'm like, bro, I've been here for 30 some days now. I ain't seen no results. He said, man, I learned that I had to fall in love with the process and not the results. And that's the thing that we have to do in life, is that in life, we got to fall in love with the process, not the results. And in order to fall in love with the process, you gotta make it into a game. You gotta turn it into something that's enjoyable. You gotta start enjoying the progress and the progression that's being made over time. You can't just enjoy you can't just enjoy it when you hit the goal, when you hit the finish line. I want to make $1 million, but I'm not going to celebrate until I make $1 million. No, you got to celebrate at 100,000 and then celebrate at 200,000 and then 3 and then 4 and then so on and so forth. You got to celebrate not just the big wins. You got to celebrate the small wins. It's why in the Winner's Circle, I harp so much on celebrating our small wins. I need to hear everybody say a win. I need to hear everybody say something that happened good to them. I don't care if it's just I woke up, and I don't care if you're going to repeat the same thing that the last person said. You need to engage and you need to practice celebrating yourself. You got to. It all starts with the inner work. And when you do the inner work, the outer, it starts to reflect on the outside. It starts to show on the outside because you start to walk a little different. You start to talk a little different. You start to glow a little bit. Like people start to look at you a little different. They start to say, man, hey, I don't, it's something different about her. It's something different about her. I wrote this poem about this girl back when I first started writing poetry like 8 years ago, and it was entitled "She Has It." And one of the lines in that poem, it said, "It wasn't her outer beauty that I was attracted to. That was too easy to see. It was something else, but I just couldn't put my finger on what that something else was." I couldn't put my finger on what that something else was. And it was like, she has it. And I realized that it was the sexiest thing that I have ever seen on a woman. And from that moment on, once I realized what it was, that was the thing that attracted me to women. It was confidence. It was confidence. Was she beautiful on the outside? Sure. But it was confidence. She was sure about herself. I tell people all the time that there's a difference between walking into a room and entering a room. When you walk into a room, your presence isn't felt. When you walk into a room, it's easy for people to not notice you. But when you enter a room, your presence is felt. Heads turn. And it's not in a boisterous look at me type of way. You don't got to be loud in order to do it. It's just something about your aura and how you walk and how you talk, how you carry yourself, how you enunciate, how you approach people, how you approach life. Those are the beautiful things that make you different. And all of that happens internally. So if you want to make change in your life, if you want to be sure about who you are, you can't just do chest compressions. What's up, Allie? You can't just do chest compressions. You can't just do the physical work. You got to do the inner work too. And every one of us has a story. Every one of us has a story. And you got to be willing to tell that story. You got to be willing to share that story and stop being ashamed of it. Stop being ashamed of your story. Own your ugly truth, your butt naked truth. Naked you came into this world, and naked you shall leave. Own your truth. Own it. If things aren't going well, just own it. That's why I tell people all the time, man, we can't just show up when things are going good. Some people only pray to God when they're in bad situations, when you need something from them. Stop calling God when you just need something from him. Call that man and tell him, hey, thank you. I appreciate for what you're doing in my life. Things are difficult right now, but I know you wouldn't give me anything more that I can bear. Things are difficult right now. They don't look the way that I want them to, but I'm going to do more because I'm putting all of my faith and all of my trust into you. Things aren't looking as well as I want them to, but I trust what you're doing, and I trust the process in which we are going through together, you and me. Start calling that man when things are going good too, man. We can't just ask for help when we need it. We got to also be thankful for the good things. We got to also be thankful for the little things that we have, because even before I was able to buy this house, I was thankful for the apartment that I had. Even before I was able to do all of the things that I'm doing and get all of the clothes and the shoes and stuff like that, all of the material things, I was super thankful for the things that I have, and I owned it. I said, yes. I've been in a house where it was blocked off with sheets, and I got a space heater in the bedroom, and me and my daughter in the bedroom with a mini fridge and a microwave, and we eating ramen noodles every single day. I've been there. I owned it. But I told myself I was there physically, but I was not there mentally, y'all. I was there physically, but I was not there mentally. Let me tell you something, man. In my head, I was living somewhere fabulous. And I was ready to fight back. I was ready to fight back. You hear me? I was in paradise mentally. You hear me? I was in paradise mentally, man. Oh my goodness. I would never let myself live there. I would never let myself live in my trials and tribulations. And that's where I think a lot of people, they allow themselves to live in their trials and tribulations. Thank y'all for the likes. You can't let yourself live in your trials and tribulations. You got to live where you desire to live in your mind. And then you got to come back and you got to create that life. So I wanted to do this today because, there's some people that I work with, and my message to you all: don't be ashamed of your story. Don't be ashamed of where you are. Embrace it. Take ownership of it. Because if you don't take ownership of where you are right now, it's going to take ownership of you. If you don't own up to your story, if you don't own up to your downfalls, and sometimes people only want to own up to it when they get on the other side of it. Don't wait until you overcome it to own it. Own it right now. Another challenge that I see a lot of people dealing with is allowing yourself the freedom to dream. And I want to say this. I read this book. It's called Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And they talked about Walt Disney. And I'm sure you all know who Walt Disney is, the founder of Disney, everything Disney, ESPN, 1, 2, Deportes, Women, everything, all of these networks, Disney World, Disneyland. All 5 or 7 Disneys that is out in the world right now. He created Disney by becoming 3 different people. And the 3 people that he had to become was, first, the dreamer. Send you the title of the book. I got you. I'm gonna post it in a Facebook group. I got you. the first person that he became. Actually, how's the book that I told you to read, that I told you to listen to? How is that book? Let me know how it is in the comments. The first person that he had to become was the dreamer. He had to become the dreamer. And in becoming the dreamer, his only responsibility was to dream. And it didn't matter how big, it didn't matter how outlandish, it didn't matter how ridiculous it sounded. The only thing that you're responsible for in this moment is dreaming. Because what happens a lot of times is people start to dream and then they start to criticize right after they dream. They say, "Oh, I want to get a good job where I got like a real big house." Like I don't need like that big of a house. Like, it don't got to be nothing like too crazy. Like it could just be, something small, and what I'm saying, something like that. And then I looked at this girl, the lady that I was talking to, and I said, "Cap, you're lying. You're lying to me right now." I said, "You mean to tell?" She was like, I don't want no big house. I don't need no big house, Mr. Jeff. You are lying, because I guarantee that if you made $10 million a year, you'd have a multi-million-dollar home. People literally try to justify stuff and try and be like, "I don't need all of that. I don't need all of that. I don't know why people do that. I don't know why they going out and buying all of this and buying all of that stuff. I don't even really need all of that stuff." You only saying that because you don't have the money. If money was not an issue for you, if for some reason you was making $100 million every single year, don't sit here and lie to me and tell me that you would not have a mansion. Lies. Cat. It's crickets all day because I don't believe it. You mean to tell me if you made $100 million every single year, you wouldn't buy a multi-million-dollar house? You wouldn't have million-dollar cars? You wouldn't have a vacation house over here? You wouldn't have one of those houses that they do on that Miami tour where they like, this is Beyonce and Jay-Z's house. This is DJ Khaled's house. This is Tiger Woods' house. That's Michael Jordan's house. You mean to tell me you wouldn't be on that same road? You are a liar. Stop lying to me. You lying. You know you lying, and I know you lying. You would have a big house, big cars, maids, servants, nannies. You'd have all of it. So don't say that you wouldn't have these things. We say that because if we say that, then that means I don't got to work to actually try to get these things because I don't like these things. Lies. You like it, you love it, and you want some more of it. Tell me I'm lying.
Oh, he's in his bag.
Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I wouldn't. Tell me, come on, man. Don't tell me you wouldn't. I know you. If you had it, you would get it. So dream of it. And it's okay if you never, ever accomplish it. But just like my mentor, Les Brown, says, most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss. Most people fail in life because they aim too low and hit. And that was me. And it's probably you too. And I empathize with you because I remember when I aimed low. All I wanted to do was graduate high school. And then when I graduated high school, all I wanted to do, I just need to graduate with college and get my bachelor's degree. And once I get my bachelor's degree, I'll be good. And then you realize that once you get that bachelor's degree, that this ain't it. This ain't all life has for me. You got to dream more because once you get it, you start to desire more. Me and my wife, we went out and we bought our dream home at the time. We bought this home. We like, man, we came out of 1,200 square feet apartment. 1,200 square feet apartment with too many people living there. With too many people. And then we got 5,000 square foot home. And we like, yes. And then it became normal because we came home to it every single day. And it became something. I wouldn't, Jeff, but I would have land all over, seriously, house, 3-bedroom, 4. Yeah, I don't believe it. Cap. Call a cap on it. We'd have it. It wouldn't be a modest home. It wouldn't be a normal 3-bedroom home. This would be a really big 3-bedroom home. It would. Damn, I forgot where I was. Where was I? Dang it, where was I? I was trying to make a point and I cannot remember the point that I was trying to make. But man, I truly believe that we need to allow ourselves time and space to dream. And then once we dream, you just got to make a plan to go out and get it. You got to make a plan to go out and get it. And so I did this exercise with my entrepreneur group. And if any of y'all want to join my entrepreneur group, it is called the Winner's Circle. You can join 100% free. I encourage y'all, send me a DM, man. You can join the Winner's Circle 100% free. Again, I encourage y'all, join the Winner's Circle. It is 100% free. I am giving you all opportunities to tap into the Winner's Circle absolutely free because I help other people win. I want to help as many people as I can win, and I want to help you win at an exponential level. Okay, that's what my desire, that's what my dream is. I told them to do this thing. I told them to do this. I said, I need you to figure out what's good. What's up, Angel? Appreciate you coming in, sis. I wanted to do this exercise, and I told them, I said, I need you to figure out. The first thing that you got to do is you got to figure out what it is that you want to do. What type of life do you want to live? Then you got to figure out who do you need to become in order to live the life that you desire to live. What do you want to do? Then figure out who do you want to become. Once you figure out who do you need to become in order to do the things that you want to do, then you got to break it down even smaller into small pieces. How do I become this person? I'm not the person that I was 10 years ago. Appreciate the roses. Yes, thank you so much. Help me hit my goal of 500. I'm not the same person that I was 10 years ago. And I knew in order to become this, and in order to do the things that I desired to do, I knew that there was a person that I needed to become in order to obtain those things. Because the next version of accomplishment for me, I can't do those things being the same person that I was at that time. I can't, like, irresponsible Jeff can't own the type of house that I own. Irresponsible Jeff can't obtain the types of things that I've been able to obtain because they just don't mix. It's like mixing oil and water. I can't do it. So I realized that I needed to grow in a lot of areas of my life. So I set out to intentionally grow in particular areas of my life. Meaning, I knew I needed to have better emotional intelligence. So I grew emotional intelligence. I knew I had to grow in effective communication. I grew in effective communication. I knew I had to grow in information and entrepreneurship. So I grew in that. But now once you figure out, okay, these are areas that I have to grow in, now what we got to figure out is how do I grow in that area? Well, if I want to grow as an entrepreneur, I know I have to read entrepreneur books. I know I have to read self-help books. I know I have to attend workshops and seminars. If I want to grow as a husband, I know I have to do things that would make me better as a husband, that would make me better as a partner. But in order to grow as a husband, a healthy and great husband has to have great effective communication, have to have great leadership skills. So if I want to grow as this husband, I got to develop communication skills. I got to develop leadership skills. I know if I want to grow as a mentor, as a role model, I've got to grow in information. I've got to grow in leadership. I've got to grow in development. So as I'm growing in leadership and development as a husband, I'm simultaneously growing in leadership and development as a mentor, as a role model. So I'm growing in these ways. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm doing all of these things. And as I'm doing all of these things, I am growing and I am getting better and I am preparing myself for the things that I desire to accomplish. That's how you grow in life. That's how you grow in life. You got to grow in those areas. If you're not willing to grow in those areas that you know, if you're not willing to take ownership again of your story and recognize that these are places that I need to grow in, if you're not going to do that, guess what? It ain't going to happen for you. It's not going to happen for you. And unfortunately, you're most likely going to stay where you are. You're most likely going to continue to get the things in life that you get. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be a great experience. It's going to be challenging. You're going to face a lot of challenges. You're going to face a lot of challenges, y'all. And that's going to be the reality of it. So when you're on this mission of becoming the best version of you that you possibly can, what I want you to do is I want you to figure out what it is that you want in your life. After you figure out and allow yourself to dream super big, after you figure out what it is that you want in your life, figure out who do you have to become in order to obtain those things. After you figure out who you have to become to obtain what it is that you want, then you got to break it down into smaller pieces and you got to say to yourself, okay, these are the areas that I actively have to grow in. And once you figure out the areas that you actively have to grow in, you continue to grow. You continue to develop. You continue to get better. Appreciate you, Kobe. Thank you so much for liking the live, man. I appreciate y'all. Break it down. Life is simple. We are the ones who complicate it. Life is extremely simple. We are the ones who complicate it. We make it hard. We make it difficult for whatever reason, because we make bad decisions mostly. But that's on us. New growth can't exist without first destruction of the old. 100%. 100%, Kobe. You in your bag right now.
Ooh, he's in his bag.
You in your bag right now. I wanted to jump on here and do this live because I trust that this is going to help some people. If this resonated with you and you still here, hit that follow button, hit that like button. Don't forget to send a gift if it touched you. Send this to somebody that needs to hear this. Send this to somebody that you believe in. Send this to somebody that needs a little bit more assistance believing in themselves. And if y'all are on TikTok or if you on Instagram, thank you so much for the roses, Natanya, and thank you. I appreciate you so much. And this has been a great conversation, and it's a constant reminder to myself of what I need to do. Like I do these things a lot of times because this helps me to stay committed to the things that I need to be committed to. It helps me stay committed. You may feel like I'm talking to you, but a lot of times I'm talking to, motivating, and encouraging myself. So I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for joining In My Bag with Backpack Jeff. My motto in life is always stay in your bag, so you never got to chase a bag. Stay in your bag here. 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 Every area of your life, stay in your bag here. Every area of your life, stay in your bag. The next part of your life is going to be the best part of your life. But the best part of your life is going to require the best version of you. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Until next time, it's your guy Backpack signing out.